Watch this Robotaxi navigate a busy downtown intersection. It tracks dozens of pedestrians, reads the traffic lights perfectly, and even dodges a cyclist without missing a beat. In perfect weather, the autonomous driving system is a marvel of modern engineering. But change the weather, and the technology fractures. During a heavy downpour, that same vehicle plows straight into a flooded street and stalls out completely. On May 21, 2026, Waymo was forced to pull the plug on its robotaxi operations across 5 major southern metropolitan areas, including Austin, Dallas, and Houston. The trigger for this massive suspension happened the evening before in Midtown Atlanta. Severe storms triggered rapid flash flooding. Despite the treacherous conditions, an unoccupied Waymo drove directly into deep standing water and got stranded. Around the same time, a journalist riding as a passenger watched their autonomous taxi repeatedly enter active flood zones until it too was trapped. This was a known vulnerability. A month earlier, on April 20th in San Antonio, Texas, an empty Waymo traveling in a 40-mile-per-hour zone encountered a deeply flooded lane. The system recognized the water and slowed down, but inexplicably continued driving forward. The car was swept off the road and into an active creek. That San Antonio incident forced Waymo to file a voluntary safety recall with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The recall affected 3,791 vehicles, running their 5th and 6th generation software. Waymo handles over 500,000 paid trips every week. Yet these simultaneous failures reveal a striking operational gap. A fleet backed by massive capital and years of research is being physically crippled by heavy rain. This animated diagram breaks down the hardware layer of a typical autonomous vehicle. If we strip away the chassis, you can see the onboard sensor array, primarily made up of LiDAR, radar, and cameras, mounted on the roof and bumpers. Those sensors are excellent at detecting solid obstacles, like other cars or pedestrians, but as you can see here, they struggle with liquids. The sensor cones easily bounce off concrete, but they pass right through pooling water. The physical hardware simply cannot measure depth or calculate the hydrodynamic risk of a flooded street. To compensate for these physical hardware limits, Waymo relies heavily on preloaded data, a method known as high definition or HD mapping. These maps record every curb, lane marking, and intersection down to the centimeter. In a dry, static, and completely predictable environment, like the sunny streets of Phoenix shown here, this pre-mapping allows the car to execute mathematically perfect navigation. Extreme weather destroys that predictability. Flash floods introduce unmapped environmental variables. The road surface changes, traction disappears, and massive water hazards materialize out of nowhere. Take a look at this split-screen diagram to see the core logic failure. On the left, the digital map grid tells the vehicle's computer that the road is clear. On the right is the physical reality, a flooded street. Because the sudden flood isn't hard-coded into the map, the vehicle assumes the path is safe. By leaning so heavily on static pre-mapped data, the software expects the world to look exactly as it did on a sunny day. It leaves the vehicle completely blind to the messy, dynamic physics of the real world. After the San Antonio crash, Waymo tried to fix the problem by deploying an interim software patch. Instead of teaching the car to natively recognize water, they connected the fleet to external alerts from the National Weather Service. The system was programmed to limit access to certain areas only if an active flash flood warning was issued. This timeline graphic shows exactly why that patch failed in Atlanta. The localized microburst was so sudden that the street physically flooded at minute 0. The official digital alert from the National Weather Service didn't ping the vehicle until minute 15, long after the car had already driven into the water. Expanding the logic tree within this diagram reveals the architectural defect submitted to federal regulators. Even when the car's sensors detect something and force the vehicle to slow down, the software completely lacks a native hard stop condition for pooling water. When the onboard logic fails, the company falls back on human intervention. During a Senate Commerce Committee hearing, Waymo executives acknowledged that their driverless fleet heavily relies on offshore human operators in call centers to provide real-time routing assistance when the software gets confused. Because the AI lacks a built-in understanding of physical weather, it is forced to outsource its survival to delayed weather apps and human supervisors halfway across the world. This map illustrates the expanding commercial fallout. Waymo hasn't paused only its southern urban operations. They also preemptively suspended all of their newly launched freeway routes across San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Miami. These sudden suspensions hit the division at a highly sensitive time. Waymo is under intense pressure to scale, currently facilitating over 500,000 paid trips a week. Pulling these major markets offline directly threatens their immediate growth trajectory. It also threatens massive commercial agreements. Waymo recently partnered with Uber in a deal valued up to $1.25 billion, promising to deploy as many as 50,000 autonomous vehicles across the country. The technical community has been highly critical of this vulnerability. Engineers note that after 20 years of development and billions in capital expenditure, Waymo's offline simulators still fail to mathematically model basic fluid dynamics. To safely deploy autonomous vehicles nationwide, the industry has to abandon rules-based, pre-mapped weather routing. The vehicles require native, sensor-derived software models capable of dynamically calculating water depth and road friction in real time. Until autonomous driving software can natively process the physics of its environment, the physical reality of a rainstorm will remain a hard boundary to the commercial viability of the driverless car.